Ja, dankjewel. We zijn gaan zitten een beetje in de schaduw, want het is nogal warm hier in Turkije. En ik ben very happy that he is. Jenson, a very warm welcome on behalf of everybody in Holland.
Hello everyone in Holland.
Yeah, thank you for being here because, well, they know, you know, it's not the easiest of times for certain Formula 1 drivers, and you're one of them.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We might not be very quick, but we are still in Formula 1.
Hey, that's for sure. I've got the questions here. We're going to kick off with a 38-year-old guy. His name is Patrick Westdorp. He says, you've been around for a few years, you're a good and fast driver, and here he says, how come you don't step over to another team where you can really show what you are and really point to people out what's there?
Well, it's not always as easy as that, you know. When I moved to Honda, you know, I expected to have a car every year that was competitive, and this season we haven't had that car, but we have some very good people within the team, and we have a lot of new people that have come to the team from big teams, so they come in with a lot of experience, and next year hopefully we'll have a car that's competitive up there with the Ferraris and the McLarens, and that's my aim, you know. Jumping to another team is not the right thing to do. It's better to stay with a top manufacturer like Honda, and it will happen.
Yeah, because what people tend to forget, you're not doing anything different in the car than you did a year ago or two. You don't brake early.
Yeah, that's one of the frustrating things of Formula 1. You know, it's a team effort, and it's not just down to the driver. The driver can make the difference in the end, but the big package is the team. Yeah. And if you haven't got a quick car, you're not going to achieve anything.
All right. Sven lives in The Hague. He says, which year so far do you think has been the best in your career up till now? Well, the best, hopefully, you get to.
It's a tough one. Yeah, last year it wasn't so bad. You know, the end result in the championship was not great. Yeah. But I won my first race. In the last 6 or 7 races of the year, I outscored any other driver. So that has to be the best year. 2004 was also good fun, where I got my first pole position, my first podium, which was followed by another 10 podiums. So it was a pretty special year, and I finished third in the World Championship behind the 2 Ferraris of Michael and Rubens.
You tend to forget, dat vergeet je bijna. Johan Pennings lives in Bergijk. This is one which is, well, close to the edge. At what age do you want to stop in Formula 1? A lot of drivers stop when they're past 35, like Michael Schumacher. You're already talking about stopping. Hasn't started yet.
That's scary, isn't it? Hey, I'm only 27. You know, there's a few more years in me yet, but I don't know. You know, it's a difficult one. I think 35 is probably a bit too long for me. I want to go and do something else after Formula 1. So we'll wait and see. But
what do you want to do?
I don't know why. I'm not going to say, but I don't want to finish yet. You know, there's a lot to achieve still, and I feel like I've just started.
Okay. There are loads of members of the JB.com version, and Relin from Gorsel says, if Formula 1 wasn't around, now it's tricky, what sport would be of your interest?
I don't know. I love cycling. Love it. You know, I'm a big fan of the Tour de France. Obviously, there's been some negative points to it the last couple of years, but I'm a big fan of cycling. Also of other sports. You know, I'm not really into team games. I'm not into ball games, but it's more like cycling and running and swimming. Swimming, I'm a big fan of. You know, because it's about technique as well, not just about pure fitness.
Yeah. So the next question: could you ever see yourself running a Formula 1 team? Would be a
that's a definite capital No. You know, a lot of drivers after Formula 1 they come back and they work within teams, but for me that is the worst thing. I can't think of anything worse. Okay. I really can't.
Dead honest. Fred Vogelaars lives in Oud-Gastel, 44 years of age. If you could do your Formula 1 career all over again, what would you do different or not?
I don't have that opportunity. I'm sorry to say. You know. There are so many things that you would rather in life, and for me it's a nice question, but it's a pointless question because it's never going to happen. For me, I've done lots of things. I've made mistakes. I've made good choices, but I wouldn't change any of it because it's my career in Formula 1. That's what it is.
Made you to
exactly.
You
know, I wouldn't be as experienced as I am now if I hadn't made mistakes in the past.
All right. Simone lives in Roosendaal. Well, yeah. What's the most difficult thing about this season?
Driving a car that's not very quick.
Yeah. How do you cope with that in the? I mean,
yeah.
You try. I think you try and push it away, but it's there. Yeah. You see someone coming in your mirrors, which you're not used to. I mean, the last 6 races of last year were tremendous.
Yeah. No, it's a tough one because you you're ready to win, you're ready to fight for the championship, but you don't have the car to do it, and it's very tough. But the only thing you have to think about is if you get negative and if you get down, you're never going to get back on top again. You've always got to be positive. You've got to push the team very, very hard and hope that things are going to change and just stay positive.
You need more concentration.
No, not more.
I can imagine if you're running up front, things are easier.
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult when you're in the midfield or even further back than that. So it's tough, but a lot of it is not down to the driving. It's down to what the driver does off the circuit with the team. You know, I need to show the team that I'm 100% focused, even though we have a bad car. So, and that changes a lot with a lot of people's views within the team, and it keeps everyone positive.
Okay. Kees Asseman lives in Nieuwekerk aan de IJssel. This is a funny thing. I'm wondering how the yellow fuel, I think he says valve, flap, is closed after a pit stop, because when he always sees them open when you drive away. But what he doesn't notice is that it closes at the end of the pit lane, probably.
Yeah, it closes.
He thinks they stay open.
Exactly. As soon as you push the pit limiter button into the pits, it opens. And as soon as you push the button again at the end of the pit lane to take off the speed limiter, it closes the fuel flap.
Jenson pushes the button.
Yeah, it's down to me.
It's down to you. Thanks for your time now.
Cool.
That's all we have time for. This weekend here, just...
We're going to try our best and just hope for a good weekend. And it's going to be a tough one, but we'll do our best. Good man.
We keep an eye on you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.